For 3,500 years, they've been waiting. Hidden just beneath our feet lie vast, silent kingdoms built for an eternity underground. The royal tombs of ancient China, often grander than any palace for the living, were designed to be sealed forever. Their entrances were buried, their contents wrapped in ritual and myth, and their stories seemed lost to time. For centuries, all we had were fragmented texts and legends of unbelievable splendor. Today, our key isn't a treasure map, it's science. Armed with modern tools, archaeologists are decoding these burials and reading them like archives, turning myth and guesswork into tested history. Join us as we follow scientists who are rewriting the story of China's imperial dynasties, one evidence-based discovery at a time. So, how can a hole in the ground tell us so much? Because a royal tomb isn't just a grave. It's a carefully planned model of the cosmos, of society, and of the afterlife, a snapshot of a civilization at the moment of burial. Archaeologists read the layout to see how a dynasty imagined order. The quality and quantity of grave goods, bronzes, jades, silks, work like an economic report on power, craft, and reach. Inscriptions on objects can supply names, titles, dates, even inventories that anchor a life to a specific time. But looking isn't enough. We can't know private thoughts or undocumented rights, and that's where speculation creeps in. Hard evidence pushes it back. Isotope analysis traces diet and movement. CT scanners peer inside sealed vessels without lifting a lid. Ground-penetrating radar, GPR, maps underground architecture long before a trench is opened. These methods turn tombs from objects of wonder into sources of measurable data, letting us build a story from what we can actually test and verify. Our journey starts more than 3,000 years ago with the late Bronze Age power of the Shang dynasty. At their last capital, Yinxu near Anyang, archaeologists uncovered large royal tombs. Many include human and animal sacrifices, sometimes in notable numbers. For a long time, these burials offered a stark but anonymous picture. Then, in 1976, everything changed. Excavators found an intact royal tomb, the only unlooted Shang royal tomb discovered so far, and it belonged to a woman named Fu Hao. How do we know? This is where science connects two data streams, the tomb itself and the Shang's written records. Fu Hao appears in over 170 oracle bone inscriptions, turtle shells and ox bones used in divination, identified not just as a consort, but as a general commanding thousands and a high priestess overseeing state ritual. Inside her tomb, archaeologists found material that fits that profile. Nearly 500 bronze objects, including over 130 weapons, and over 750 jade pieces signaling extraordinary wealth and status. The burial also held the remains of 16 people and 6 dogs, sacrificed to accompany her in the afterlife. For the first time, a Shang life could be read across media, bone text, bronze, and jade, each confirming the other. Jump forward to 221 BCE, when Qin Shi Huang unified China. His mausoleum is perhaps the most famous and most carefully protected burial landscape on Earth. Ancient historian Sima Qian recorded a subterranean palace representing the empire, with a starry ceiling of pearls and flowing rivers of mercury. For 2 millennia, it sounded like legend. Today, non-invasive science is probing the ground without breaking it. Remote sensing and geophysical surveys reveal a vast, symmetrical complex consistent with an imperial plan on an epic scale. And those rivers of mercury? Soil tests show elevated mercury near the mound, an intriguing clue, not proof. Meanwhile, the surrounding pits of the Terracotta Army, more than 8,000 life-sized soldiers, have become a data set. Tool marks, clays, and component reuse point to modular assembly line production, evidence for an administrative machine capable of coordinating labor and materials on a staggering level. The mystery of Qin Shi Huang's tomb isn't RT about curses, it's about measuring the true extent of imperial power. After the short Qin came the long-lived Han. Their answer to eternity was jade. Texts describe burial suits made from thousands of plaques, stitched with precious metal wire to preserve the body and protect the soul. In 1968, excavation at Mancheng confirmed the texts. The tombs of Prince Liu Shang and Du Wan held complete jade suits. Liu Sheng's suit used 2,498 plaques, each drilled and polished, stitched together, often with over a kilogram of gold wire, in a project that could take years for master artisans. Protocols in later histories note rank by stitching material: gold for emperors, silver or copper for lower ranks. Science adds the human layer. Isotope analysis of remains reveals diet, millet versus rice, marine versus inland resources, and movement across regions. Where preservation allows, ancient DNA helps clarify kinship and lineage among elite families. The suits didn't halt decay, but the combination of texts, material analysis, and bioarchaeology makes these burials legible far beyond legend. Our final stop is the Ming. North of Beijing, in a valley chosen for auspicious feng shui, lie 13 imperial mausoleums spread across roughly 40 square kilometers. Each tomb functions as a subterranean palace with ceremonial ways, gates, and massive walled enclosures. Excavation is limited and carefully targeted, so mapping begins with GPR and other geophysical tools that trace buried walls and chambers in 3 dimensions. Where excavation has been possible, such as at Dingling, texts carved in stone act like an inventory, items, counts, and offerings recorded in durable script. Conservation science now takes the lead. Fragile artifacts are analyzed with CT imaging to study manufacturing and condition without contact. The Ming landscape represents a final, fully architectural expression of imperial burial. Its scale, plan, and logistics clearest when seen through modern measurement. From the oracle bones of the Shang to the remote sensing of the Ming, science reshapes how we see the past. These tombs are not treasure chests. They are time-stamped archives of belief, technology, and power. Each analysis, whether isotopes, CT, radiocarbon, or GPR, adds another line to the ledger, narrowing what we don't know while revealing how much remains to learn. Many chambers are still sealed, awaiting future tools and future questions. The story of ancient China's royal tombs is far from over. Subscribe to Unfolding Legacy for more evidence-based explorations of ancient cultures.